Giant comet and a giant coronal hole. Man, what a day. This is an update, kind of, to the video I just made. WTF is that giant solar body in our solar system, and NASA's gone ahead and defined it as Venus, which is still interesting because A, why does Venus have an entire dust trail behind it like it was a comet? B, why is it growing wings? C, why is it as big as the sun? Now, I do believe that is Venus because when NASA lists it as Venus, and B, when we look at the stereo placement, it shows that Venus is right behind the stereo B camera. My question is still, why is it so high up on the elliptic? I mean, Mercury usually comes around like through the sun. Like, how the hell could Venus transit the sun if it's that high? Like, that don't make no sense. And when you look at the stereo behind HI2 camera, it's so freaking foggy you can't see nothing. We got a giant coronal hole in the sun. It looks pretty strange. And it's almost carrying that bat-like feature that it had a couple months ago in January. Now, this isn't too doomy. We're going to check with Nostradamus, and I want to remind you doomsayers that Nostradamus doesn't think the world's going to end until 3797. And then over in the LASCO, we see a giant comet heading into the inner solar system. Look how big that Comet and tail are. That thing is huge. What comet is that? And this Venus stuff just reminded me of a quatrain from Nostradamus that I read before, where it basically says, "For the pleasure of the voluptuous edict, one will mix poison in the faith. Venus will be in a course so virtuous as to becloud the whole quality of the sun." Now, we've heard tons of people talk about the 3 days of darkness. And a kind YouTube subscriber of mine actually linked me a bunch of evidence to there being 3 days of darkness in the history of mankind several times. So it would not surprise me at some point the sun did go dark for 3 days. Why, I don't know. It's a subject we'll cover on another day, but I just thought it was interesting that it reminded me of this Nostradamus quatrain, where Venus will be in a course so virtuous as to becloud the whole quality of the sun. Now, one thing that people are saying, some guys saying that's not a comet tail, but that's not true because Venus has this type of an atmosphere. I've heard at times it can act like a comet, and it sure looks like a freaking comet, and that is a tail, man. You can't get away from that. That is a tail. If anybody knows a tail, it's me, baby. And, giant coronal holes, an inexplainable sun. These are crazy times. Yes, we think that unidentified object is Venus, but it doesn't answer all the questions. It only gives us more questions. Like when we look at the past transits of Venus against the sun, it's not that huge. It's not as big as the sun. That's just nutty, man. So, I mean, I'm okay with saying, okay, that's Venus, but why is it so high up? Why does it have wings? Why does it have a comet tail? Why is it as big as the sun? Clearly, Venus is much smaller than the sun. I believe if my math is correct, the sun's volume is 1,520,000 times bigger than Venus. The sun's diameter is 114.9 times bigger than Venus. So, I mean, unless it's an optical illusion, things appear bigger in the mirror than they are or whatever. That's not true. I mean, Venus is tiny compared to the sun. I mean, I guess at times why I love jousting with the real astronomers is the pseudo-astronomers, because a lot of times they really act like they know everything. They know how our solar system was created. They know how the planets were created. They know how everything's going to act at all times. That's just silly, It's just dang silly. Anyway, so I thought I'd update it. We think it's Venus, but it still leaves a lot of questions to be answered. And these are strange times. Strange times indeed, my friends. Yeah, so where is that comet coming from? Where is it going? It looks quite huge. That should be on somebody's radar. Technically, it is on the radar. It's on the camera. So there you go. There's Venus, size relation to the sun. And if you notice, it's transiting the sun right in front of it. It's crossing across the sun. Look at that right there. On that sun camera, it's just like right above the sun, man. Like on the camera we're looking at, that solar body is way up there. It's like super high. So it doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't actually coordinate with the other footage. So if someone wants to explain to me the differential between why that solar body is so high compared to the others, I would like to know. And here we're looking at the LASCO. We got it popping off some CMEs. Now I'm looking for that comet that we saw. I don't see it coming. I got a still of it, but it ain't on the cameras. It's just weird. Crazy freaking times, people. I do love shots like this. I'm not a doom porn peddler. I mean, for God's sakes, I don't want to be Terrell, who's like, your grandmother's buttermilk pancake recipe is gonna die. I got a comfort spot for you in my Ozarka safe from Wormwood Black Star hotel underneath the ground. And you can have it half price off the $10,000 if you join my Terrell harem. And you only have to have sex with me 4 times a day. And buy my Terrell underwear. It is bulletproof. That's the exact opposite of what I want to be. That is not the guy I want to be, ladies. If I want to win your heart, I want to do it with charm, intelligence, and a bit of sense of humor, okay? I would like to ask questions, have those questions answered, cause everybody do a little more thinking, but, I'm not here to peddle the doom porn. I'm crazy in the opposite end to where I'm an optimist. I believe superheroes will return, and there will be 1,000 years of peace. But there may be a sticky period before then. Anywho, just want to make that clear. I'm not a doom porn peddler. I'm not trying to be the next Terral. Like, oh my God, bring those tomato plants in, baby. Is it legal to have sex with tomato plants? Thor News presents Venus the Comet, a new giant comet, and a giant coronal hole. Man, what a day. This is an update, kind of, to the video I just made. WTF is that giant solar body in our solar system, and NASA's gone ahead and defined it as Venus, which is still interesting because A, why does Venus have an entire dust trail behind it like it was a comet? B, why is it growing wings? C, why is it as big as the sun? Now, I do believe that is Venus, because when NASA lists it as Venus, and B, when we look at the stereo placement, it shows that Venus is right behind the stereo B camera. My question is still, why is it so high up on the ecliptic? I mean, Mercury usually comes around like through the sun. Like, how the hell could Venus transit the sun if it's that high? Like, that don't make no sense. And when you look at the stereo behind HI2 camera,